Hi guys. So last week on May 26th, 27th, last Sunday, I went to the Fall Out Boy concert in Boston at House of Blues, and I'm going to review it for you because it was by far one of the best concerts I've been to, particularly at House of Blues. Even though there were some issues, which I will go over, and maybe it was just because it's House of Blues and something always has to happen, or maybe it's like this at all of the Fall Out Boy shows for this tour. But okay, so to begin, I waited in line for 4 hours to get in. All of the tickets, I don't know if it was just for this venue or if it's for all the venues, but tickets were call only, so you had to pick them up day of the show, and tickets didn't, you couldn't go to the box office until 3. My friend and I got there at 2, and the line was already going all the way around House of Blues. And I felt so bad for the people who got there after us because we got our tickets maybe a little before 4 o'clock after waiting in line for an hour, or over an hour. And of course, once the line started moving, it moved very quickly. But they eventually, after we got our tickets, we went and grabbed food real quick and then went and got in line to get into the venue. And there were actually they sold so many tickets that, they had to stop giving them out until doors opened at 7, and they actually opened up the venue 20 minutes early, and that was really good because that means we were about 10 feet or less from the stage with our original position. And of course, before that, we went and got our merch bag checked. Bag check at House of Blues, if you've never been, is $5. Merch for the show is actually really expensive. Last time I went to House of Blues, I went and saw the Wonder Years Yellow Card, We're the In Crowd, Hometown Heroes, and one other band who I can't remember right now. But merch was really cheap for that, and I don't know if it was just because of those bands or if it's just it was probably just because it was those bands. But I got this sweater and a tour T-shirt, and it cost me $70. And merch at concerts, at least in my opinion, shouldn't be that much. I got a sweatshirt that's the same brand from the same company for a different band, and I got it for $15, and I paid $45 for this one, which I'm sort of kind of can't stand paying that much for merch, but I wanted it really badly, and I don't splurge on myself that much, so I got it. Anyways, the opening act, there was actually only one opening act, unlike the fall tour. The fall tour, I think, has 3 opening acts, but this one, the opening act was this Canadian band called NK, and they don't have the same sound as Fall Out Boy, but they were still really good. And after the show, my friend and I and the other people who were waiting around to meet Fall Out Boy, we actually got to meet the bassist and the lead singer, and they were really fantastic. And they gave us free download cards, and they have this very hardcore sound while also having this California rock thing going on. It was really cool, and the lead singer looks like Macklemore, which is sort of kind of weird, but it was, they were really good. Unfortunately, no, they started on time, so they started at 8, doors opened at 7, well, a little before 7, but they started at 8. Fall Out Boy didn't go on until almost 9:30, and we were waiting for almost 45 minutes for them, but it was worth it because they played almost everything that you'd want to hear from them. They played a ton of old stuff. I think they only played they played until 11:30 maybe, and they played every song you'd want to, or almost every song you'd want to hear from their older albums, and then they played I think 5 or 6 songs off the new album. I'm sure if you search, you can find the set list if you're going to a show coming up. But it was fantastic, and unfortunately the crowd got a little intense, which I've seen a lot whenever I go to House of Blues. But before the show started, 5 people had to get pulled out from the front of the house because they passed out, and that must suck to be you because that means you just lost your spot. After that, people kept passing out, and the security guards in between the 2 bands would go around passing out water to everyone who's in the first section, where I was. And, for NK, everyone was fine. It was when Fall Out Boy came out, we got through one song before my friend had a panic attack. I was getting squished. I got an elbow to the face, and it just wasn't pretty. So we moved back to the midsection. And at House of Blues, the midsection, that's where the mosh pit is usually. And I never would have thought there'd be a mosh pit at Fall Out Boy, but there was. and I got punched in the face again. Apparently that's just what happens whenever I go to House of Blues. But some guys moved me out of the way, which was nice because I was like on the wall accidentally again, just like last time. But we had so much more fun there because like you can breathe and move, and it's awesome. And the concert was awesome. We were jumping up and down and singing along to all the songs. And afterwards, after the concert, which was fantastic, also free water. Drink lots of water, especially if you're waiting in line for a long time. Word of advice. After the show, we went outside and we were just like, oh, we have time to wait around. Like the last train doesn't leave until after midnight, so we're fine. And we were staying in Austin anyways. So we waited around to meet the band. We were outside for about 15 minutes with security already came over and said like, oh, there's only one member of the band left. The other, and he's with his family. The other three already left. And we're just like, oh, okay, well, we'll just wait around and see who it is. Watch, it's going to be like Andy or Joe. Of course, Joe has a very large fan base, I found out, because he came out and played with the opening act. Anyways, but it ended up being Patrick Stump, and my friend and I got to take pictures with him and hug him, and he lost his voice, so he couldn't like talk or anything, but he was like waited for every single fan to like get a hug or get a picture, and even those bodyguards, oh come on, we have to move along, but it was so awesome. We got to meet his brother when we were waiting. We were waiting on the wrong side of the building basically, but his brother came over and talked to us, and it was so awesome. But it was definitely one of the best concerts I've gone to in a very long time, and I definitely recommend going to Fall Out Boy's tour and starting in September. The tour opens in Connecticut at Mohegan Sun, which I'm really mad I can't go to that one, but I'm probably going to go to the one in Lowell, Mass, which is much closer to where I go to school, and it should be super duper awesome. So if you can go to the Fall Out Boy show, I think all the shows are sold out. But yeah, so that's my review. The album is awesome. I'm going to do an album review later. It's not quite like all the other stuff if you haven't heard it yet, but it's still really fantastic, and I can't wait to hear it like in full when it's actually what they're touring for, not just like, we're Fall Out Boy, we're back, because that's definitely what the show was, which was awesome because that means they focus more on their older stuff. Okay, bye! When